Welcome to Jen Care's Live Talks powered by Swag Her Magazine and Chosen Counselors, the show that brings the community to you Mondays at 8 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube. Here we engage in tough talks and meaningful conversations, featuring guests that help us stay in the know. If you're watching on Facebook, be sure to like and follow our page. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to never miss a show. Now, here's your host, Jen Cares.
Now, Houseway. There we go. I said, what happened there? I know it's been a minute since you've been here, but we are back, friends. Good evening and welcome to Jen Cares Live Talks, where we, let me get myself together. I'm nervous, I guess. Here we go. Reboot. Good evening and welcome to Jen Cares Live Talks, where tough talks lead to meaningful conversations. We're powered by Swag Her Magazine and Chosen Counselors. I am your host, Jen Cares, the founder of Chosen Counselors, a nonprofit organization that seeks to inspire, motivate, empower, and strengthen individuals and families. See, here at Jen Cares, we try to bring the community. No, we specialize in bringing the community to you. We love tough talks and meaningful conversations as we work to normalize the importance of addressing our mental health and more. So let's share a couple events that are coming up from our sponsors. Dun, 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 dun. The first one is with Swag Her. Your story has a seat at this table. Swag Her invites you to sip, settle, storytell. Join them for an intimate Juneteenth weekend, gathering for women ready to share their truth in Alexandria, Virginia. Some rooms are built for business, but this one is built for truth. Sipping, settling, and storytelling is a brand new, intimate coffee experience for women, a space where good conversation, warm community, and honest storytelling meet over a great cup. Swag Her is launching their first gathering the morning after Juneteenth, and the theme couldn't be more intentional. Free before they told me. So come share the moment you claimed your freedom before anyone gave you permission to. The moment you knew before the world caught up. Oh my goodness. This experience is designed for women who are ready to be in the room, present, open, and unapologetic. Whether you have a story ready or you just need to be around women who get it, you, my friend, belong here. So come as you are and leave fuller than you arrived. Again, this event will be held on Saturday, June 20th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the Conwell Crash in Alexandria, Virginia. So you can purchase your ticket today. I'm going to put that right in our chat because, again, friends, you want to be there. It's going to be a good time. All right? All right. So one more announcement. As you know, Chosen Counselors has our hoodie season, and the weather is getting warmer, so it's not quite hoodie season, but you can still get some merch right on our website at chosencounselors.com. We also have our Boss Girl Planner and Journal. It is not dated, so you can use it whenever. And last but not least, we got some new stuff for you, okay? We have our capacity hat. More than just a stylish accessory, it carries an important reminder for you to know your limits and communicate them to others. Balance and self-awareness are essential for maintaining healthy relationships, managing responsibilities, and protecting your well-being. So as we have the hoodie, you want to also get yourself that hat. We also have our new shirt, Normalized Therapy, okay? The front says Normalized Therapy, and the back says, seeking support is not a sign of weakness. Seeking support is a sign of strength, not weakness. Again, we want to normalize therapy because seeking support is a sign of strength, not weakness. And it is for sure a conversation starter. Why? Because we need to normalize the importance of talking to somebody. Life be life, but you can make it, okay, friends? I don't want you to give up. You can make it, all right? So again, we want to normalize therapy. Whew. So let's get into tonight. I'm very excited for our guest tonight. She's a leader in music, creative wellness, behavioral health, and we're going to discuss some overlooked challenges facing artists and music professionals. And if you're not a music professional, guess what? It still can apply to you too. And I'm just so excited for her experience and all that she's going to share with us. So help me welcome the amazing Bella Reyes. Dun, dun, dun. Here we go. Hey, girl. How are you? You can hear me?
No.
Did you not hear nothing I said?
Nothing.
Oh, what is going on? Okay, hold on. Friends, can you hear me in the chat? Uh-oh. Hold on. I did all those lovely intros and they didn't hear. I'm so sorry. Let me see. Because you heard me before, but you can't hear me now. Still can't hear me. All right, hold on. I'm not sure what's happening. 1 second. Can you hear me now? Hello? It's saying that it's coming.
Can you hear
Can you
me?
hear me now? I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you. Yeah.
Okay, so one moment. So it is, I can hear it on live. I can hear you on live, but you can't hear me. So I'm thinking that it might be. So friends, if you can hear me, can you drop a note in the comment section for me, please? Just trying to make sure we don't have any hiccup. But Bella can't hear me. Okay, she's going to come back in a second, and then hopefully we can hear her. Let's see. I hope that you guys are having a great day as the weather is changing and adjusting and all those great things. I'm so excited to be back with Jen Cares, excited to bring some exciting information to you, some exciting resources to you, because a lot is going on. And I hope that, you can connect with some of the resources that we share. Well, one moment for us to connect with our guests. Let's see. All right, not sure. And sometimes hiccups happen, in the world of the internet. Let's see. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome.
Okay. So I just went out and came back in.
Okay, awesome. So glad to have you back. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you so much. I apologize for the little technical difficulty. Not sure what's going on.
I normally say when that happens, we're about to talk about something really amazing. Okay, so here we go. We want to always start here with the quote of the day. And our quote of the day actually comes from something that you shared with me. It says, "The beat is where the pain and joy is." Again, the beat is where the pain and joy is. Can you share, what does that mean to you?
Yeah. So, hi everybody. My name is Bella Reyes professionally, but as far as my music career, I am an executive producer, and my producer tag is Bella Beat Messenger. Right. So, Bella Beat Messenger. My journey in my independent music career started off with a really close relationship to my brother, who's a beat maker, and he also lives with an intellectual disability. So it was really difficult for him to articulate his emotions, but he learned how to personify emotion through sound. And that's how we would communicate.
Okay.
So over time, and my talents as a producer, I would say I really took away from that relationship the ability to listen to a song, or we'll say the beat, right? Because it's not a song until we get an artist or a vocalist, right? But you listen to the beat, and I like to listen to the chord progressions and things like that to get an understanding of the story that the beat is telling.
Yeah.
Right? Before we even put words to it. Right. So that's what I mean when I say the beat, right? It's where the pain is. And even through a clinical lens, I've been able to get an idea of the pain in the city, you know what I mean? Or in certain communities. And the same thing with joy and what have you, right? Wherever the feeling is.
That's good, because like some songs you can listen to before the music even starts, you already know it's going to have you get feelings and your emotions, right? So sometimes they can have a little bit of pain, but it can also have a little bit of joy, right? But then there's some songs you listen to, you're like, yeah, dun, 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 and you like got all the joy and feels. So that's pretty dope to really take the beat and pay attention to the beat and where the beat is taking you before the music even comes in. Because there's some music that's like, yeah, I don't want to hear that, or the music comes, you're like, that's not quite how I thought it was going to be. but you can find pain or joy, and everybody has a different style.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So, friends, as always, I have prepared some questions to guide tonight's topic. But if you have any questions, be sure to drop them down. Any comments, be sure to drop them down. All right. So, you share with us a little bit about who you are. Was that how you actually got into the music from your brother and things of that sort, or was it like a dream before?
I think we all shared the same dream. Like we
Okay.
come from a musical family. My brother is still a wonderful beat maker today. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? So yeah, it really just started off with enjoying the music, trying to learn how to make it, and just wanting to be a part of something amazing.
And something amazing it is. I was reading something one time and it was like, you're going to have three things and one of them was music. I was like, yeah, I got to keep music. I could get rid of one of these other ones, but I enjoy music. It just brings me joy. On
Yeah.
a long ride, I've been recently on rides and I have the music on. I'm like, wait, let me get my jams on and things of that sort because it can help cheer you up, keep you motivated, keep you moving,
Mhm.
depending on what you put on.
Hello.
Now, what's your go-to song?
Okay, so for what mood?
Okay. So you need to be inspired, uplifted.
Right now, because a lot of my inspiration is calling me to serve others through my nonprofit, I'm
Mhm.
gonna go with Show the World
Okay.
with Lil Boosie and them. We're gonna show the world. Amen. You
Yes,
know,
I like it.
it's a great message just to again, something tied to, beyond yourself.
Got you. I like it. So now if a song where you are feeling a little sad and you just want to listen to some sad music, what's that song?
Oh man, Drake never lets me down. Just put him in shuffle, okay?
I love it. I know one of my go-to songs here recently, I just was introduced to Joy Rose and she
Oh
has a
yeah.
song called Supposed to. One beautiful voice. It was just a random moment and I heard just a clip. It was saying everything is working out exactly like it's supposed to.
Yeah.
And my little heart just teared up a little bit because I needed that reminder. And
Yeah.
every so often I just throw it on. It'll be on repeat a whole bunch of times. I think it's definitely gonna be on my chart at the end of the year that I've
Yeah.
listened to this a couple times, okay? Because sometimes we need that reminder things isn't working out how we wanted it to, or how we all those things, but it's working out exactly how it's supposed to do. Um, I don't know when I'm feeling sad. I don't know. I guess I put on my little R&B and stuff, but I also don't want to stay there too long, because Mary can have you there.
Oh yes, she can.
Time on my hands. I don't want the time. That's the problem, Mary. I need something else, But I do just enjoy how music can take us through so many different emotions,
Yeah.
and bring us right on back to where we should be or where we want to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. So you have a nonprofit. I didn't know about that. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so I have a nonprofit. I'm the founder and executive director for a nonprofit called Track Society.
Okay.
Track Society is an extension of my life work, which is serving the independent music community and bringing stewardship to independent
Mm,
music culture. And so,
mm.
Track Society is basically a support development organization. We help with creative career planning and development. And we're doing this with strategic community partnerships. We offer creative networking and professional networking opportunities for independent music creatives and professionals and get them ready for the job market, right? So we also contribute in ways such as like scholarships or other like career advancement opportunities.
I like this. And I'm going off script a little bit. Because I just met a young man recently and he was like he wanted to go, we was like talking about college and things. And though I am an advocate for college, I do know that college can be expensive. I do know that you could go for something and once you graduate, you can't get into your field so you feel like you settled. I do know college is not for everybody, and I share about trade schools or other options. And one of the things he shared he wanted to go to school for was music. So they was like, oh, well, this school is great for that. Da, 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 da. I said, well, what do you want to do with music? Because that's the difference, right? Because that doesn't mean you have to go to school. He was like, I want to play the guitar. So that's a class we could take. That's not necessarily college, right? So now we want to hone in a little bit more on that. And I think your nonprofit is great of being able to help people identify in those giftings, what that really looks like before paying some money to go somewhere, right? One,
Exactly.
let's see if you learn how to play and if you really still like it, be
Yeah.
around people that play. Do you still like it?
Yeah.
Can you pick it up? Because wanting to do something, doing something with two different things. People say, oh, I love to cook. but they keep burning the house down. Please stop cooking, you know? So really trying to hone in on what it is that people want to do is so important.
Yeah.
So how's the experience been of just cultivating individuals in their giftings and seeing them flow into a butterfly, going to that cocoon and
Yeah.
out now soar?
Yeah, it's probably been one of the most rewarding experiences in my career. And I think that, the independent music community outside of the veterans, right, is
Mm-hmm.
probably one of the only populations that I've served as a professional that I'm actually a
Okay.
part of,
Okay.
right? I am an independent executive producer and songwriter myself, right? So having that
Okay.
intimate understanding of their struggles and be able to bring my network together to provide opportunities for others, it's been amazing, right? It's also been super super cool to see that so many people come in and they walk in the door and they're at this state where they've tried everything and nothing's working. And like you were saying, because you're even with that example with the young man in the guitar, right, what you gave him was direction, right? And we see so many people come in like, hey, I've been trying to do this artist thing for a long time and it's just not working out. And it's like, as you spend more time with them, it's like, hey, have you thought about producing? It doesn't seem like this artist thing is best for you, but man, are you gifted when it comes to putting sounds together and creating a vibe, right? Or have you thought about A&R, or even
Yeah.
managing artists or whatever the case is, right?
Mhm.
Just because this one
Mhm.
avenue in the music industry isn't working for you doesn't mean that your natural talents and abilities won't shape you for an even better opportunity in the same realm.
So true, so true, so true. Oh, so true. You just shift. And sometimes you can do it, but you don't want to do it forever, right? So there's some actors that have now become directors or, editors and things, because they saw too many different things happening. But it's not really until you get your foot in so you can find out what it all looks like, where you do fit in. And if you should just admire it from the comfort of your home, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and being okay with that too and finding out what your niche is. Ah,
Hmm.
so good, so good. So,
Absolutely.
what inspired you? I got a lot of questions from what you said. One, I want to talk about your music, right?
Oh,
Um, uh, and let's start there first, because the other part I want to talk about is that mentorship piece, because there are people that are going out and don't know what they're doing and they're hitting bottom and feeling like, I need to stop, I shouldn't do this. And it's important for you to connect with somebody that does know, um, not to like steal from them, but really to glean from them the wisdom and nuggets, because they're trying to support you in what you're doing, and hopes that you're open to hearing what they're saying. And sometimes people are a little shaky because, like, I know what I'm doing. No, you don't.
yeah.
You know a piece of it, but not the whole pie, right? And what you offer shows them a little bit more of the pie, right? You're trying to add another slice to help them to get to that full pie. As they continue going, they'll have a whole pie once they're done. But that's so 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 important. So the first part, let's talk about your music. Um, how can people find your music? And things
Oh,
of that sort.
well, you can find my music from maybe 2, 3, 4 years ago.
Okay, okay,
I
okay.
have been, again, called into leadership, right?
Yeah.
So even right now, I am a licensed, master. I'm a licensed clinical social worker now
Mm-mm.
with a master's in social work, but I'm preparing to earn a second master's in music business through Berklee College of Music this month.
Oh,
Hello. So
yes.
thank you so much. So we're kind of pivoting there. God is calling me to, again, leadership and building programs that are effective
Mhm,
and
mhm.
really, hone in on building solutions for these
Yes.
common challenges that we're seeing in the independent
Mhm,
music
mhm,
community.
mhm, mhm.
But again, I'm an executive producer, so you're not going to see Bea Beat Messenger. You're going to see me in the credits.
Uh-huh,
Okay.
uh-huh.
I'm behind the scenes. So
Yeah,
my production company is called Symphony Music Group, and
yeah.
Symphony with an I at the end. The I is for
Mhm.
independent.
Nice.
But yeah, so if you look up Symphony Music Group on YouTube, even Spotify, wherever you hear your music,
Mhm,
you'll
mhm.
be able to catch some stuff. And I would say that the music that you're gonna find is Christian hip hop.
I like that.
Christian
Oh,
hip.
I know some Christian hip hop. To get into the split a little bit of it, I'm definitely gonna check it in. And I like this and bringing a point to this because of the shift that happened, right?
Hmm.
So your thought process was to be this independent artist doing this music and things of sort, successful with it, but then it's like, I see a calling to do something greater.
Hmm.
How easy or hard was that to shift?
Yeah, you know what? It was actually a so the shift. I would say the revelation of the shift was the easy part, right? Because I don't say I didn't get into, I didn't, when I got called back to music, I didn't call back as an artist, right? I got called back as an executive producer,
Mhm.
somebody that was giving these independent artists feedback on their work. And, that led to them saying, okay, well, can you show me what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Right. So that's how I ended up in the studio.
Uh-huh.
But as far as me being in the studio as an executive producer and then also as a behavioral health professional and picking up on,
Mhm.
what's
Mhm.
unhealthy, in these
Yeah.
situations and,
Yeah.
all the chaos, right, behind
Mhm.
the creativity, I really did start focusing more on how we can relieve those pressures, right,
Yeah.
for independent music creators, including
Yeah.
myself, right? And
Yeah.
that's where the mentorship and the stewardship and all of the resources and infrastructure, all of that stuff came about.
Mhm.
Me switching my career path, right, in some
Mhm.
way, right, because I'm a social worker at heart and I will
Yeah.
be forever,
Yes,
right?
yes.
But me going ahead and getting this additional expertise, okay,
Mhm.
when it comes to music business is, of course, for the benefits of others, right?
Mhm.
Again, teaching stewardship and building programs for real life situations that are happening
Mhm.
in the music community. So
Yeah.
the hardest part was actually believing that I could do
Mhm.
that. That was the hard part. The hard part was, God, I can go to Berkeley? Me? You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like believing I can pass this test. I can be a licensed clinical social worker. Like I
Yes.
can I can do this. That was
Mhm.
the harder part. Like putting yourself out there for the benefit of others.
Mhm. Mhm. And oftentimes we're not honest, but I think a lot of us have trouble with believing in ourselves. Like we're gifted, we know it, we say it and it helps somebody, but we're like, oh, it was just that one person. And then we help somebody else, like, it was just two. But then we get on a bigger scale and help so many others, and they come back and say, like, I really appreciated what you said. And it's like, oh, maybe I can do it. But the hard part sometimes come when they don't come back, right? And
Ooh,
you're
talk
doing
about
it.
it.
And you
Talk
feel like,
about it.
am I making a difference? Am I not making a difference? Should I continue? Should I stop? But
Yeah.
that longing in you pushes you to keep on going. It's like, well, I'm gonna keep on just trying and see what happens. And then that person does come and say, oh, I really appreciate it. Or,
Yeah.
you told me this years ago. I heard you say something years ago. And it's like, you might not even remember the moment, but they remembered and it resonated with them. And they're like, okay, but now I need some more help. How can you help me with right? Because
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
offering leadership and that mentorship. Because once you get there, you want to be able to maintain, right?
Mm,
Because some people get there and be like, oh, I'm doing amazing, but they can't maintain it. And we don't want that to happen either. Um,
I'm glad you said that because I do have, mm, I want to be careful. I believe that mentorship has a place
yes.
when it comes to the music ecosystem
Mhm.
and independent music culture specifically. But I think that it's very distant
Mhm.
and it goes ineffective quickly because the people that I'm working with, Jennifer, the people that I'm working with are the people that are not technically independent music professionals yet. They're
Okay.
generating less than 50% of their annual income from music business.
Mhm.
9 times out of 10, still balancing a 9 to 5,
Yeah.
raising families, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Doing
Yeah.
all of these things,
Yeah.
right? While still having to tap into their creativity regularly while trying to make sure that becomes their main form of income. So, what I'm seeing on this side of the house of the music industry is that
Mhm.
mentorship is good, but only until you really start popping.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like it's very distant, right?
Mhm.
Because at one point it starts to feel like investing,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Whether it's your time, your
Mhm.
energy, what have you, but you're investing into these artists and their success. Now, you said a really cool thing earlier about sustainability and how,
Mhm.
what happens, mentorship seems to fade away after some time and there's no follow through. And we on the Track Society side of the house, we really think that has to do with stewardship, right?
Mhm.
Which I think mentorship should be a component of,
Okay.
right? Stewardship is care with responsibility and accountability,
Mhm.
right? And what I like to teach is when it comes to stewardship and the music community, right?
Mhm.
You have this gift, right? When it comes to stewardship, the stewardship is being able to love and care for the gift, the person carrying the gift, and the community that shapes the gift.
Say
You
that
see what I'm
again.
saying? We're not building a machine where we're
Yeah.
literally only putting in to get out what's for us and only us,
Mhm,
right?
mhm,
There's a responsibility across the board that needs to be acknowledged and accepted, right?
mhm,
So that mentorship can actually be more effective, especially for those people who are trying to break that threshold of going from aspiring or emerging
mhm.
independent professional to professional
Yeah,
independent artist. You see
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
So the mentorship piece by itself is not working because we don't have the longevity. If there's no
Mhm,
stewardship, if we don't believe in our hearts and we love and care responsibly for this space that we say we love,
mhm.
this music, hello, this
Yeah,
independent music culture or the
yeah.
music industry, whatever you want to call it, if we don't care about it, if we don't care about ourselves, then
Mhm.
this gift that we're carrying is going to wither away over time.
Now, you said a piece because this thing called adulting is something else. Okay.
Come on.
We was like, I can't wait to be grown. I can't. We can. You can. I try to tell young people, you got more years to be an adult than you do to be a child, right? But the part that you shared of having that 9 to 5, having that family, having the children. Then the family is the children, or no children, or the relatives, or you care for parents and things of that sort, or loved ones. And then trying to still do this creative piece that you have that you aspire to do, but like you're getting no sleep, you're just work, sleep, get a little bit of creative, and like that gives you some, juice to keep you going. But then you still gotta go back to work, sleep, family, this, and like juggling all of that can really be overwhelming. So I appreciate the social work piece because that helps you to see it from a different lens. Not that people without social work can't, but it's a different passion,
Yes.
So you see it from those different eyes and can help them like balancing of, well, do you have to do all these pieces? Because sometimes we need to delegate some stuff that we're taking responsibility for that we don't have to do.
Hello.
I remember I had a guest and she was sharing how she started taking advantage of before and after care because she needed those moments to kind of just get herself together. And like the child wouldn't say like the whole hours, but maybe a half hour. That half hour meant so much. So whatever it looks like to find those moments to continue to protect your passion so it doesn't dwindle away, right?
Ooh.
Uh, because sometimes you regret that. You're like, I wish I shoulda, I coulda, I woulda, and we don't want that to happen. So, what are some words of wisdom you give those that are still in that inspiring phase, that are still struggling to balance all of those things? I don't want to say struggling, um, but actually, sometimes for some it is a struggle. But some
Yes.
people are doing it successfully. Some people aren't doing it successfully. But what are the words of encouragement that you give that person that is balancing all of that and it's kind of like trying to throw something else to the side as something else then comes in?
Yeah. So I want to start off with a piece of hope, right?
Mhm,
And I want to go out here on the record and say that we are seeing healthier artists and the music's getting better. Okay. We're seeing people be able to effectively juggle work life balance. Okay. And still have regular creative output without betraying themselves. All righty. So it is doable. Okay. So I will start there. The next thing that I say usually in a situation like this is the first thing I go to is boundaries, right? I think that we talk about boundaries a lot when it comes to enforcing them to, I guess, get other people to comply and respect our space. But when you are in the independent music community, your career and your life is driven by the quality of your self leadership. So that means that you have to set boundaries with yourself as well that are rooted in your morals and your values because you're your own boss, right? And again, if you're not taking care of yourself, then nothing around you is going to work, including your creativity, right? So you have to set those boundaries and be able to say no, which is a complete sentence, okay? We can say no to certain things. And like you were saying, Miss Jennifer, we can delegate things or, and again, rely on your support system, all right? Now, when I talk about support systems with, members of the independent music community, I like to emphasize it the same way I do when I have my social work hat on and I'm talking to my healthcare, clients, right? You need to have a personal and professional support system. Okay. like this creative work is heavy, because almost all I can't even say, listen, I don't think I know any creative right now whose creativity is not tied to their identity, right? Whereas, I think a lot of people believe that creativity is performative and it's just something that we do, but creativity is tied to your identity, right? So you got to be able to have those healthy boundaries to dive into that passion and talk about it profusely with people who share that same passion, as the person that share a pillow with you and want you to talk about your kids that passionately. You know what I mean? It causes problems. So you want to definitely make sure you have a professional support system as well as a personal support system.
Oh, so many good nuggets. I told you I take notes over here. I like the piece of the healthy artist, right? Because that's a real thing of hoping that it's received well, it's not received well. It's a movie I saw, and I watch it every so often. It's called Beyond the Lights. Yes, Beyond the Lights. And it's a young lady that's an artist, but she's struggling because she's trying to live up to the image that her mom wants her to have. So then she's like thinking of, like ending things, and people don't realize the struggle that artists go through of just trying to be themselves and sing, what's in their heart to sing. Somebody else saying, no, you got to do it this way. And then a piece of those boundaries and, not portraying yourselves. It reminds me of the movie Michael, and sorry if you guys didn't see it. But there was a scene where Michael, like, got his team together. They was like, what do you want to, I need you to do something for me. And they're like, okay, yeah, anything for you. Like, he's like, I want you to fire my dad. And everybody was like,
anything but that.
And I'm like, sure, we'll do it. And in my mind, I'm like, what are they going to do this face to face? Are they going to do this on the phone? All different things. And they faxed this man a letter letting him know he's fired. But Michael had put in the boundaries and things that he needed to be able to do what he wanted to do, to say he has to go. And it's funny, not funny, but people say how some people say like his dad helped him to be who he is because they gave him that push and they gave him that drive. And there are a lot of artists that had the same thing. Sorry, I'm gonna throw it out there. They talk about, the Clark sisters, how their mom was on them and things of sort, and how they helped them to be where they are. And all that is good and dandy, but it doesn't negate the effect that it's still gonna have on that person to try to be healthy in what it is that they're doing. Sometimes it's like, I'm doing it because I love it, but I don't want to do it because of people, places, and things of the sort, But those healthy artists, I'm appreciative of that, because some people get caught up in something and then they can't get out. But the other part you shared was that support system. But I like how you broke it down, because you need a personal support system and a professional support system, because they're two different things.
Yes, ma'am.
Personal people don't always understand a professional. So if I'm going to you and talking to you about a client and all the stuff they do, I'm like, girl, you need to cut them off. That's not how it works. They're going through some things, I can't cut them off. That's the problem. They feel like they've been rejected so many times. So I need to talk to my professional ones. And they're like, these are some therapy strategies you can use. These are some resources that you can connect them with, right? But then you need the personal ones, because you could be like, this girl did such a girl and things like that. So you need that to keep the balance, because having that professional hat on sometimes it's amazing, but sometimes you want to take it off. So the points of having those two separate support systems, a professional one and a personal one, and I would even say a spiritual one as well, right?
Ooh, hello.
Because you can't talk to everybody about God. They don't understand. They don't have a relationship, So when you're saying that I'm doing this, they're like, girl, why are you doing that? I can't talk to you no more about that. And that's cool, but I need to talk to somebody that's going to be able to encourage my spiritual walk, that I don't give up, that I don't throw in the towel. Because right now I want to throw in the towel. I'm tired of things of that sort. I can't go to a personal one. I can't go to a professional one either. Don't know Jesus. Because they're like, what you talking about? We don't do that. Or they have a different religion. So like that part of like being able to hone, and those support systems are so important. And only you know what's the best support system for you. Because even within your friends, when we talk about personal, you can't talk to all of them about everything.
No.
It's still categories within them of what you can share. Yeah. And I think that's so powerful. Thank you for sharing that.
I love the spiritual support system. I do think that is a key ingredient.
Yeah.
Amen. Yeah.
Because where would I be? Where would I? And I get, even again in those sections or sectors, there's still people that might not believe quite how you believe. but they have a piece of understanding to help you kind of like navigate. It's nothing like when I'm talking to my brother or one of my close girlfriends and I say something, they be like, yeah, I understand. Now, a couple of things happen with that. I'll be upset because why are you understanding so much? Where like, I appreciate you normalizing it. How we get out of this though, friend? Because I don't like this place, But that iron sharpening iron, that being groomed, that being that growth pattern, because you're letting go of things that no longer serve you. You're introducing some boundaries so that you too could be a healthy human being.
Yes.
Because this life thing could be overwhelming.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Special shout out to all my friends that are my professional, the ones that blend my spiritual to help me keep on doing things. Because sometimes you want to, like throwing a shower when you're balancing all those things, but then your passion, you want to be able to do this thing, and it's steady dying, and you don't want it to die. And then again, a lot of feelings come with that. Should I not have married? Should I not have had children? Should I have not taken this job? Can I really quit my job? Can I afford to do that to really go full time into this music career? Because it could be hard and challenging. We've seen challenges all the time where some people are really talented, some people aren't maybe talented, but that's still their passion. So again, finding their way to navigate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
In that, why do you feel like artists is also interchangeable people, struggle with prioritizing well-being?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it has a lot to do with what I said earlier about, our creativity being a part of our identity. It gets really muddy when, this part of you has so much pressure to make money, so much pressure to for external validation. You know what I'm saying? So I would say that when it comes to the independent music community, right? Because I can only speak on that right now, but the prioritization shifts by the moment, right? We're having, regular conversations about mental health and self-care and all of that in independent music culture, but it just depends on when it is a priority, right? Because there's a lot of times where you have to juggle either the bag, the opportunity, or your mental health, and you got to pick one. You know what I mean? And hello, and that's what it is, and then of course when we're talking about creativity, there's all kinds of different processes that go into place with that,
Mm-hmm,
you
mm-hmm.
know and so now we live in this hustle culture and visibility culture, type space right now when it comes to your music and things like that, and it has even more pressure. So people are having to tap into or access their creativity more regularly than usual. You know what I mean? Even after working a 9 to 5 sometimes. You know what I mean? So I think the question you asked was, why is it difficult for them to prioritize it? Because it goes by the moment,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
not by the day.
Yeah. And I think that again, that's an important factor for us to know. And again, it works for non-artists too, because even I have to like figure out how to prioritize. I would like to get some sleep, but I really have to do these different tasks. So I need to do that. I would like to clean my house, but I need to do these different tasks. So like managing, if it's that 5 minute, cleanup, that 10-minute cleanup, to be able to prioritize something that is just as important as the other priorities is so important. But again, it is depending on the day of, I need to write this song because I have a deadline. But however our procrastinators out there got to be careful, right? But, managing your time in a way that you can have the pieces done. If you're trying to go on tour, show up at different events, prioritizing what that looks like. And like having your friends support. Now, this is another one too, because I was watching this clip, some show I started watching, and she was an artist, independent, going out to, she got like a gig at a bar where she could play and sing and things of the sort. But she didn't really want her friends to go because she felt like she'd be more nervous and things of that sort. So how does that work for independent artists? So sometimes you're nervous, you don't want the friends that you know to come, or but you want the strangers to come. How does that work? How did that work for you, and how does that work for those you service?
Yeah. So I mean, for me, I recently did a couple live performances for the first time in my life, and I feel so much better with nobody being in there that I know,
Okay.
except my husband, because he drove me there.
Okay.
But yeah, that's just me personally. As far as what I'm seeing in the independent music space, I'm seeing both ways. I'm seeing some
Okay.
people confuse their personal support system as fans. And so when they're not
Mm.
listening to their music or sharing it on social media or whatever,
Ooh.
or if they don't know every word to the song, child, it's a problem.
Ooh.
So it's like your family's not your target audience, but okay, right? So we see people that have those kinds of expectations, right?
Yeah.
For their
Yeah.
natural support system there. I also see people who, are a lot like me, where they thrive when they're in a room and no, there's not a familiar face, and they
Mm-hmm,
get
mm-hmm.
an honest,
Yes.
they get
Review.
honest feedback
Yes.
from their
Yes.
performance. You know what I mean? And they have to
Mm-hmm.
actually
Yeah.
earn the crowd's respect and admiration. You know what I'm saying? So it really just depends on the person. And that's what I like to say too. Whenever I have these types of conversations and we're talking about generally what we're seeing, excuse me, in the independent music community, it is so important to remember that the independent music community is comprised of so many people from so many different backgrounds, right? So there's no like necessarily one way when it comes to how, human behavior, plays out. But I will say, yeah, I mean, I see it both ways. Some people want their family in there, and if they're not, it's a problem. Some people prefer to not have their family in there. Some people want their family and new people in there, right?
Yeah.
It really
Yeah.
just depends on where you're at in your journey and yeah, in your evolution of maturity.
I love the piece you shared. Family and friends are not your fans.
Mm.
They're family and
They're not your
friends.
target audience, right?
Right,
Some
right,
some
right,
of
right.
them become
Right,
fans.
right,
Some
right, right.
become
So
fans, right?
I think what I'm saying is like I don't want you the piece of not having the expectation that they will be fans,
Okay. Yeah.
because some of them will let you on and like that's their tune or whatever it is that you're doing, and some are like I support you, you doing the thing, but that's not quite my speed, right?
Yeah.
So like I had launched like hoodies and things of that sort, and I'm like, if you're not a hoodie person that doesn't buy, don't buy it and you just collect dust. I'd rather you spend your money on something. Let's go out to eat, do those different things, right? Or if you're not like a journal planner person, I'm cool with that. But not expecting my immediate circle to support. Like they're like, I'm gonna get it. I was like, it's okay if you don't. The
Yeah.
people that it's for will get it. And I think that's the big part of um knowing that your circle will support you, but it might not always look how you wanted it to look. They
Yeah.
might not drive the hours to come see you, but they're putting somebody else on, or they're playing it in the background. Somebody else like, wait, who's that? And like, oh, you ain't hear my friend Bella? Oh yeah, she got the vibe. Da, 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 da. And like they can
Okay.
promote you in those aspects that we sometimes see and don't see, right? But again, just trust in your gifting and what you're putting out to the world is gonna
Yeah.
come back to you.
Yeah. Amen to
Yeah.
that.
Because a lot of times we want them to support and it's not realistic. Sometimes they can't because they're juggling a whole bunch of different things trying to do their passion, right?
Right.
And then we're not supporting their passion because like they cook, but we don't like their food. I,
Hello.
you know what I'm saying? So,
Hello.
but again, just supporting each other in your independent tasks. I, I don't think I have a friend that's a cook that is doing a cook and I don't like their food because sometimes I'm doing my business out there. I gotta be careful. But yes,
I talk about
um,
y'all.
yeah, yeah. Just saying like different situations happen. But I like that piece. And again, not having that expectation, being grateful if they are, because too, then I'll be like, oh, you should do this better. Da, da, da. Again, your support system is different. You go to your professionals to find out, should I do this? Should I not do this? Like you take in what they're saying. You eat the meat, spit out the bones. Sometimes you say the bones because you might make something later. But that piece of all of that, I thought that was pretty cool. Oh,
Amen.
cool. Okay. Um, What's one lesson that you feel like your personal in your personal professional journey has taught you about passion and purpose? Because we talk about juggling it all, but you
Yeah.
going strong, and now helping these independents. What lesson has taught you to keep that passion, to keep that purpose as you inspire them, right? Because you are that coach now, saying like, you got this, when they doing that last lap and they feel like I can't do it, or it's like two more laps, or they just started and they like, maybe I should quit. What has helped you to what is that lesson for you?
Yeah. So um going back to the lesson of stewardship, right? Understanding stewardship through my own relationship with God, my spiritual relationship. Um, it really helped me understand what I'm seeing, right? In my professional career, my creative career, as it pertains to, like you said, passion and purpose specifically, right? I've learned that passion is great to get the work started, but it's not enough, right? Purpose is where you get your direction from. Okay. So
Mm.
let's talk about it, right? You got your gift, right? Your passion is what has you using your gift. Okay. Direction or purpose. Purpose tells you where you're going with your gift, who is going to, who it ain't. Hello. What's for you,
Mm.
what's not. Amen. Direction. Okay. But even with that, longevity or sustainability isn't guaranteed without stewardship.
Mm.
It goes back to how you take care of these things, how you take care of yourself, how you take care of the community that's taking care of you. Okay. Again, having those boundaries, being as healthy as you can as a person, optimizes your gift. So your contribution to the machine or the space, the culture is even better, for the people around you to be inspired by. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I've learned. Like, this means absolutely nothing. If I'm only making music that I like,
Mm.
if I'm only in music business to get paid for me and I'm not doing anything to inspire others or help others heal or help people get out of these stuck or sticky situations that I've had the privilege to work myself out of or write my way out of, sing my way out of, amen, then what are we doing?
What are we
What are we
doing?
doing? We're going to lose the passion and be disconnected from the purpose. So stewardship is necessary for all of those things to work together cohesively.
My note, hold on. Okay. Mm-hmm. Connected from the past. I like it. Don't lose the passion and get disconnected from the purpose.
Oh, you can't. Not if this is your calling.
Oh,
If your purpose is tied to your gift.
yeah.
Hello. We're putting music out there for other people to digest and heal and
Mm-hmm.
celebrate with, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's not about you.
I like this. And then I'm throwing in the other scenarios and things, sort because all is in alignment with our purpose and life and things.
Mm-hmm.
And recently, I've been assigned worship leading in my church, right? And like we'll have songs, and they're like, "Oh, I feel like these songs are old," or "I feel like da 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 da." In a church setting, you have to meet so many different generations. So sometimes it's going to be the song that hits for you. Sometimes it's not going to be the song that hits for you. And that's a big part of knowing what your passion is your passion to, like sing and minister and things of that sort. Then your purpose is to make sure you're in alignment with what those people still need. Or that part of can't be music I like all the time. Because I remember one guy was like, "Yeah, I don't think that song hit." I said, "Yeah, it might not, but it might hit for somebody else, right?" So you have to be discerning. Even like if you go and do a set, like in your mind, you had in your mind you were going to do one song, but when you got there, just something shifted, and you feel like I need to do an encouraging, uplifting song. And at the end of your set, you find out I really needed it. I really have been going through. It's like being flexible,
Yes.
and aware of your surroundings to read a room is so important to
Yeah.
know how to move. That was really good. I like that. I love passion is what gets you started. It's why you're doing it. But that purpose is your direction. Because we had a passion to be a cook. I was talking to a young man. He wants to open up a restaurant. His passion is to cook. Cool. I was asking like, what are some of the meals that you would have on your menu? Because you can't say you like to cook everything because you can't have everything on a menu, right? You got to hone in on what the specifics are. So trying to give some purpose, some direction to what it is he wants to do. What would be the name? All those different things. I said, you got some time now to write out the blueprint, right? Your passion is to do it, but write out the blueprint. Like, what's your goals 5 years from now? To be doing a tour, like be an opener for somebody, all those different things in the music world. Because somebody always needs that. Somebody's always having an event. And sometimes you doing a pitch, believing in yourself to say, hey, I still got an event coming up. Can I do an opener? Because then it gets people engaged to kind of know what it is that you're doing. Like, how can I get more of your work? And then you never know who's in the audience to be able to push you somewhere else.
Hello. Yeah, that's good.
You never know who you're standing next to. I went to an event and I was just sharing how I liked it. No, behold, I'm standing next to the person that put the event on. I'm like, how can I help push this? Because this is amazing. You know,
Mhm.
she's a female DJ. She had a competition of 7 DJs that had just learned how to DJ. And they did this whole performance. And she like trying to make sure everything is together. And I'm just thinking like maybe she just a helper. She's like, oh yeah, this might be. I'm like, what? Nice to meet you. You never know who you're
You
around.
never know.
Which could
You
be
never-
good and bad too. You gotta watch it because sometimes you find some enemies out there, right? Or some enemies
Hey,
of the people you know. But
yeah,
that passion would get you
yeah.
started with that purpose, keeps you going. And you don't want to lose the passion because that could disconnect you from your
And
purpose.
if I could just say one more thing, because I know my independent artists in here are going to try to get me on this later, right?
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Passion. You can have more than one passion.
Thank you.
Right.
Yes.
And that
Yes.
is what I explained to them too. You know what I mean? Like me personally, like I have a passion for making beats, but I know it ain't my purpose. Okay. I know it ain't my purpose. I'm probably gonna be
Yes.
spending the rest of my life perfecting it or getting it to a point where it's like, okay, maybe somebody would
Uh-huh.
buy this, right? But I
Yes.
know that my passion and my purpose is in storytelling and helping people heal from music.
Yes.
You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? I know. So the words,
Yes.
and the sounds is like
Yes.
where my purpose is as it pertains
Mhm.
to that delivery. I don't have to be the one to make the beat, even though I have a passion for
Mhm,
making my
mhm.
own beats, right?
Yes.
That ain't my purpose.
I
That
like it.
ain't my purpose.
I like it. Because again, your passion could be to have a restaurant, but you don't know how to cook. You got to find the
Oh,
people,
okay.
right?
You can
But
have
the
a
passion
passion
is to
for it.
make sure people got a place to do, passion is to help, children and youth and things of that sort. But finding a way to actually do that can be all those things. Ah, this is good. This is good. Oh, cool. I like that. I got so many notes. This is great. I feel like you got some slogans here with this.
Ah,
Um,
amen.
oh, this is good. This is good. Okay. And talking about your independent artist,
Yeah.
what is one thing you wish they knew about protecting their gifts? Like, what is one important, like, golden rule that they should, um, golden rule of many, but one that you feel like is really top tier that they need to be aware of when they are protecting their gifts, right? Because a lot of people can say a lot of different things. There are a lot of people that have put something on social media, comedians, poets, singers, different things. So it's like they are brain dump and they put it out there. And people are not always kind in the comments,
Yeah.
right? So somebody's always going to have something to say, but what would you say is that piece that they need to know?
Okay. Well, I do think that we all come into this industry knowing that art is subjective. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So once you
Mm-hmm.
put it out there, it is subject to feedback or criticism, right?
Yes.
Um, I'm trying to think of something I haven't said already today. Um, I would say, hmm, golden rule.
Or something
Mm,
you wish they understood about protecting.
Oh, okay. Well, then, I mean, I'm just gonna go back to the stewardship piece, right? In their self leadership. You know what I mean? Like you being an independent artist, independent anything means that you are the boss. Okay, you're a
Mm-hmm.
walking, breathing band. I'm sorry, brand, band,
Mm-hmm.
brand, right? So, when it comes to the people that are, uh digesting your art and things like that, um, or even the space that you're contributing to, I would
Mm-hmm.
say the safest thing to do, because comparison, if I do believe in my heart, is the thief of joy. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
because we're
Mm-hmm.
seeing a whole lot of people putting minimal effort out there and they get a song that goes viral on TikTok and they're the new sensation. And then 10 years from now, we don't even remember their names, right? No
Mm-hmm.
shade, get your money.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
hey, it's people out here that are really passionate about this and have a purpose to build a life, a sustainable
Yeah.
career from their art, right? So that's who I'm representing right now. But I would say competition wise, if you have a competitive spirit and you need it, compete with yourself, compete with your best self. That's the best thing that you can do because I think that it really helps keep the distractions away, right? When you are competing with your best self, you're intentional, right? We already know that your art is subject to metrics and analytics. You know what I mean? So if you're telling yourself that, you know what, I got 70 people on Spotify to listen to my last song. Next time I drop, my goal is 150. You know what I mean? You're competing with yourself, right? And looking at what you can do to get to your 150, listener mark or whatever that looks like for you, right? Competing with yourself is the healthiest and best way that you can preserve your relationship with self and still be a good steward of your gift, yourself, and the community. I think that when we put so much effort in competing with others in this space, this sport of independent music culture that has no coaches or sportsmanship, okay? Ain't no rules for
Ain't
real,
no rules. This
right?
case everywhere.
The best thing you can do for yourself is to compete against your best self, okay? Everything else will fall in line.
Mm. Good. It's a guy I follow on Instagram, and he'll do these jokes and parodies and things of that sort. And he recently did one where he was serious, and I've never really seen him serious too much because he's always doing like these jokes. He's spite on all the time, and he was sharing, I really just whatever thought, I just kept pushing it. I said, I'm gonna keep on just pushing, just keep on pushing it. Just like now he notice how it was a bump in his followers to be 700K and things of the sort. He was like, whatever it is, you just got to push it. People, like you said, are going to say what they want to say. Just keep pushing it. Don't compete against somebody else. Just keep pushing it as you're authentic for yourself. And I think people lose that because they feel like then maybe I need to be more like how they are. I need to dress more how they're dressing or all those different things. You just got to be true to you and keep on pushing, and your tribe will find you. You just got to keep throwing out whatever it is. There's some hits, like you said, that are one hit wonder. There are some that are amazing. There's some that just drop, but you got to just keep on pushing.
And that means being okay with making bad music at first,
yes.
right? And nobody wants to do something they're not good at, right?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But in this situation, you have to give yourself permission to, right? Because if you don't take the academia route and go to Berkeley and learn how to play the guitar, then take your behind to YouTube University and figure it out, right? But it's still a skill set that has to be nurtured and built before you get to a certain point. And a lot of people get lost in that space. That's the grind. We call it the grind. Okay. You gotta stick to the grind and stick it out, right? You may suck at first, you know what I'm saying? But it's definitely something that you have to give yourself grace for and self-trust, knowing that you're gonna get better over time. I think there's like a 10,000 hour rule. Have you heard about that?
I haven't. Please share.
They say that, in order for you to get to the point where you're excellent at something, you have to practice it for 10,000 hours. That's typically the golden rule number. So just think about it. Like, can you give yourself 5 years of growth before you're like, okay, I really need to be making money at this point? Most businesses takes a good 5-year startup before we even start seeing a return in our investment or any form of success, right? It's the same thing with your creative businesses.
Friends, don't throw in the towel. Don't throw in the towel. I like the 10,000 when I'm gonna use that. I often use the 408 cleaner.
Okay.
The two brothers who wanted to create this cleaner that would be amazing, right? The name came because it took them 408 tries to get to the end result. And there are sometimes I feel like I would have probably gave up. I share with the students when I would use it. Have you ever mixed bleach and ammonia? I'm just thinking of, random chemicals and things that start, because as people put those things together, you'll be feeling like you're about to pass out, or you feel like I'm tired, you done burn yourself, or whatever happened with whatever it is that you was mixing that wasn't working. Some were good, but still wasn't quite to the standard that you wanted to be. But it took them 408 tries. And when it got there, now we have the 408 cleaner, right?
Ooh.
They didn't give up. And when I, share with the students, I say, would you try 408? And it's like, everybody's saying no. And then I say, how many days are in a year? 365.
Okay.
You're all older than one.
Okay.
So you continue to go, you're not giving up. And it's the same thing in whatever it is
Amen.
that's your passion. It's the same thing in what you feel to be your gift. And you just got to keep on getting up and trying again. You take a pause, you take a break, but you get right back to that grind. And
Yes.
that grind is the part that people don't want to do. It's that elbow crease when growing up. You
Yes.
gotta clean it, you
Yes.
gotta rub it a little bit. You got to
Yeah.
get it to the best that you can get it where you feel
Got to
good.
be a little sore,
A
you
little
know?
sore,
Yeah.
you're gonna be tired a little bit, If you're modeling, your feet might be tired of shoes. Dancers, they're tired, on their feet. You might get tired of hearing that same song. They're like, if you don't stop singing that song, I try to get it together. I try to get it together. But
Yes.
as you keep on grinding,
Yeah.
you do come out to be successful on the other end.
Yes. Yes.
And
Yeah.
like you said, there are a lot of teachers. It might not be college. YouTube, TikTok can teach you a lot of things. Now, again, use discernment. I'm not telling you to go there and it's going to teach you everything you need to know. They're going to teach you some
Right.
basics, but you still have to know what you should and shouldn't do. Because there's some people out there that say that they cooks, and I would never eat that stuff they put together. It's a lady,
Hello.
her and her son, she'll put some corn with some hot dogs and stuff. Well, that's not totally odd because I know older saints they do that. Grandmas and them they just put it in there. But she just put some odd stuff in dishes and like some unseasoned things.
Yeah.
That's not somebody we want to learn from because people might not eat that, right? So you need that tried and true where people are following for the benefit of it. There's people that are following them for jokes and things of that sort, but there's some legit people that are out here cooking, legit people out here that are singing, legit people that are out here doing a hustle and grind. So you want to follow them and get encouragement and motivation as they keep on going. Which brings me
Yes.
to another question, because AI is taking over, and there's some great AI artists. I'm not going to hold you. I've heard some great songs that they did, but what's your encouragement for? And it's probably something that you already said too, but this is a real thing. Like seeing these AI artists take over and like, but I'm an independent artist. I'm doing a hard and grind, and somebody just put something into the computer and they did everything. Not fair, or whatever soapbox they put out of their frustrations with it. What are some words for those?
Yeah. So I'll say this. I don't care how advanced AI is going to get. There is nothing more pure and joyful and perfect than the music coming out of a human or from human hands. So I'm going to put that out there. I don't care how fast the song is written, how clever the metaphors or the arrange. I do not care. This is all derived from top 40s and what humans have already done. Okay. So I'll say that. Second thing I'm going to say is the creative process is the fun part, not just the expected outcome. So, right, going back to stewardship, giving yourself time to, hey, enjoy the creative process, right? That is important. Now, I will say there's a whole lot of rules and laws and everything coming around when it comes to how do we get paid off of music from these AI artists, right? In a lot of ways. You get certain licensing and stuff, but that publishing conversation looks a little different. The Supreme Court, as a matter of fact, just recently ruled that music that is generated from AI cannot be copyrighted. Okay. So that says a lot. All right. We can still do covers and things like that, songs that are already made and publishing and all of that is already situated, royalty situations already worked out. We can do AI, covers and stuff like that. But as far as copywriting this music that you're working so hard with this AI server to do, baby, it's only going to get you so far. Okay. Now, another thing I say when I have this conversation with my independent music creators is that understand a lot of the major record labels, people that we're relying on for major distribution, so our music has even more of a chance to get charted sooner or later. These people are shutting down and they're moving more towards AI, right? And not because they're necessarily expecting you to create AI artists, but soon you're going to be competing with all of the top 40, all of the hot popular music that had come out in the past 50, 60 years. Because guess what? Sooner or later, your music is going to go through a Scantron system.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't get a certain score, then that means you won't qualify for certain opportunities. So the best thing that you can do for yourself in this digital age and whatever is happening with these AI platforms
Mm-hmm.
is keep your pen sharp,
Mm-hmm.
keep that vocal production, take care of your instrument,
Mm-hmm.
Continuously create creative goals, okay, for your projects and things like that. Don't stop challenging yourself, because at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
day, these things are not going to die, and the quality of these things is what's going to be literally
Mm-hmm.
compared to this AI stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So using the AI isn't necessarily the answer. You have to start preparing to compete with it.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. This has been really good. I had two more questions in my wrap up question.
Okay.
My first one is in being an artist, right, you can, we talk about copyright, right? So sometimes you can have infringement and lawsuits and things of that sort. And ironically, I was scrolling the other day and I'm missing him. I'm free, praise the Lord, I'm free, no longer bound. But an artist used that in their song and they didn't do the proper, they didn't go to the proper channels to use it in their song. So it comes on this record. And it's funny, not funny. I don't know why I'm using it tonight, but in a sense, it brings attention to the song, which is good for the original artist. But the original artist still wants to be able to get credit, right?
Hello.
For you using that piece.
Yeah.
And this person actually won because they did use it in the song. And sometimes people don't realize the politics that goes on behind the scenes. So, like, what are the words of wisdom if, like, they do want to do a snippet of a song to not get in trouble years later, days later, from somebody be like, oh, that's mine. Don't do that,
Yes.
and being mindful of that. What are the pieces?
Yeah. I mean, it's called clearance, right? That's the term that we use. So let's say, for instance, like I actually have a list, right, and my own creative, project goals, and I have a list of songs that I would like to sample. Whether that I'm taking a piece of it and I'm making a beat and I'm gonna, spit something on top of it, or I want to actually use the chorus for whatever, right? That you have to get it cleared. So that means that I would literally have to contact the publishing companies for everybody that is attached to the original piece of art. Okay. So if I want to remix Free by Denise Williams, I got to get in touch with Denise Williams people. Okay.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time they're attorneys, right? But yeah, I have to literally, and depending on, hey, because the OGs want you to write them a letter. They want to know what inspired, you to want to use their music, what you're going to do with it. They want to know, a lot of other people, they just want to know how much of the song you want to use, what's the song about, whatever the case is. And then we discuss from there, right? When you release your song, yes, I'll let you use this part of it from my original song. But every time, I just want 10% of the royalties from everything you make, or I want this. So it has to be a discussion and a conversation respectfully before you even move on to release. Now, a lot of independent music creators get in trouble with this because we're kind of like under the radar. Ain't nobody really listening a lot to our music. You know what I'm saying? That's what we tell ourselves. Nobody's gonna notice. And then boom, that be the one that pops off. And it goes viral and all of this stuff. And then the next thing you know, you got Miss Denise Williams people reaching their hand out. Excuse me, you now owe me 608,000, blah, 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 $1,000 or whatever, because you did not have my permission to use my art. So you have to get it cleared. Again, that's another part of being an independent artist.
Yeah.
You have to know these things because they will get you in the back end. And it's disrespectful.
It's a circle. And that's the grind as well, right? Because trying to find those people can be hard because they've gotten so many emails. They're feeling like, this is a scam and things of sorts. So like, make sure you're going to the right channels. Good. So my last question before I wrap up question is, I have some friends that are aspiring singers. I'm not sure that they'll become an independent artist. They can't really sing. I didn't say who y'all was, so don't say I was talking about y'all. But they be like, how can I protect my voice? Because you talked about that too and protecting your gift. What are some tidbits that you can give these aspiring artists that I'm gonna send your way too, since they want to be an artist, that they can protect their voice?
Yeah. So protect their voice as in the instrument, like their actual vocal cords, like vocal health.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I mean, there's let me see. I would say honestly, I don't recommend singing or anything like that without doing warm-ups, right? I mean, your vocal cords, they are muscles and they're very delicate, right? So you want to, be intentional. So if you have the opportunity, the privilege, you want to get some type of formal training, right? Rather that you get some singing lessons so you can actually learn your functional range and not
Yeah.
trying to mimic what Mariah Carey doing if you got a Anita Baker voice. Okay. Don't be out here trying to whistle and doing all of that yelling because you're gonna hurt yourself and you ain't gonna be able to sing right for like 3 days, right?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So yeah, for sure. Making sure that you are hydrated, right? Again, just like with any other muscle. So making sure you're hydrated. I know it's hard in Houston. Okay. Coconut water, coconut
Yes.
water, coconut water. I actually have this here. I use it myself. And then also because I'm in my project studio. So I do have artists that come here to record.
Mhm.
Having a nice vocal steamer, can
Mm.
be really helpful too, when you have to do a whole lot of singing, or from my church singers that got to be up at 5 o'clock to sing at the early morning service. You know what I mean? Those are
Yes.
also really good tools to have too. But definitely making sure you're exercising your voice.
Mhm.
It's just like any other muscle. So if you're singing, you're doing this singing thing, you want to do it regularly. And regularly doesn't mean every day. All
Mhm.
right.
Mhm.
But you want to keep it active. You want to make sure that you are doing what you can to slowly over time. The goal is to expand your functional range
Yeah.
safely.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I would say. That's what I would say.
That's good. It's funny. I just always wonder, the singers, uh, how do you just keep going? Like, what happens? I remember the first time I lost my voice, and I thought it was so cool because I never lost my voice before. But then, like, songs would come up and I couldn't sing when I felt some type of way. I was like, "This got to go. I'm ready for this to
That's
be
so
over."
cool.
But it's like the allergy season when the weather starts changing. If I'm not on my allergy medicine, she sound like a man. And my brother be like, "Hey, sir, how you doing?" Disrespectful, but it happens. So I try to like
So
stay on
true.
top of it. But there are a lot of artists that have done like long tours and things like that. And you be like, well, how in the world? But it's these little basic, not little, these steps that help you to kind of stay up. And again, cold still can happen because you're around people and things of that
Right.
sort. Um, Bugs happen and things of sort, but you stay on top of the different pieces. Another
Yes.
part that I love that you said was learning your range. There's a lot of times that you could be with people and they're like, oh yeah, no, I can sing that. It's okay if you can't. They're different, the soprano, alto, and tenor for a reason, so that you don't have to be that high. As a kid growing up in the church choir, our director, rest in peace, Ernie Sanders, he would say, "Go to the soprano section." He put all of
Right.
us in the soprano section. He said, "If that's too high, then we'll move you." But you start
Oh,
over there.
oh, okay.
I ain't quite been able to officially move from that soprano section. I could do
Okay.
alto and tenor like if needed to rotate, but they be like,
Yeah.
take your tail back over there.
Yeah.
But it's really also important because everybody can hit those notes. And it's funny because I feel like a song is high, then the next minute I'm doing like the high note and things that sort. But again, knowing your range is really important. There's some songs that if
Yes.
it's a little lower, I need to give that to somebody else to sing. I can't lead it. Or I'm just gonna do a whole bunch of Kurt Franklin. I'm gonna talk you through it.
Yes, or
Melody,
bring the song down a key. You know
that
what I'm saying? So it
too.
accommodates your voice. You can still
Yes,
sing the songs you
yes,
love, but if
yes,
you got to
yes,
do it in key,
yes,
that's
yes.
and cardio. That was another tip that I forgot too.
Okay,
Cardio.
okay. Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, singing is probably one of the most
For sure.
physical,
For sure.
exercises or activities that we
Mhm,
can partake in. So
mhm.
definitely cardio too is another thing that helps with endurance.
Yes. That's funny when you said bring the key down and things and such. A guy posted that today. He was like calling out some singers. He was like, I love y'all music, but y'all sing too high. Can you bring it down? And
Hey,
in the
bring it
comments,
down a
everybody
key.
was sharing how I'll change the key in a second. We did a song with that. He was like, "This is why I say yes. Can we take that down actually? Because after those other ones, we're gonna be all just take it down a little bit. They gonna be ready. Just take it down a little bit." And again,
Yes.
knowing your range is so important. And that cardio ain't no joke for
It
sure.
ain't no joke.
Uh, you can be saying it still, but it's still working you.
Yes, ma'am.
It's still working you. Oh, this is good, but oh, you are so amazing. What is something that you want us to walk away with? You said so many nuggets. I have some great notes here. I'm excited to watch it again. But what are some things that, as a summation, that you want us to walk away with from today?
Just not underestimating the power of stewardship,
Mm-hmm.
right? Especially in the creative industries where we're literally valued based off of our output, right? Our community and the health of our community, our ecosystem means everything. So we have to make sure we're thinking about how we are contributing to it and nurturing that, right? For sure. Artists, independent community people, music industry people, creative people, you have full blown permission to build a creative lifestyle that does not require you to abandon or neglect your own health or well being.
Mm, that's good. Another part you shared talks about branding, and I want to direct people to you for that because that's a whole ball game as well of how you show up, right? So, friends, I want y'all to make sure y'all follow. She's done some amazing things. Bella's done some great things. You need a mentor, if you need some support, and being an independent artist, you want to head on over to Bella_Beat Messenger because she's gonna share some good tidbits with you. You got a little bit today, you know. But that's stewardship, and as you were saying that, I was like, power of stewardship. I was like, has she written a book yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
It's coming. It's coming. I'm Berkeley has me like I have to do like a whole like research thing with
Mm-hmm.
Berkeley
Mm-hmm.
in order to fulfill my commitment, right? So I can graduate.
Yeah.
But I have an idea of where this book is going. And I
Yeah.
think that I'm going to use my Berkeley experience to really solidify the research.
I like it. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know another friend, she did a program and she came out with a book from, the pieces that she wanted to do and things. And it's so
I love
important because some people listen today, right? But some people read it because they'll pick up the book.
it.
So all types of learners and things start when I had that together. Oh, it's gonna be cool. But yes, that power of stewardship, friends, and that's in all areas. Again, we want to steward ourselves very well.
In our
As you're balancing
business.
all those things, you want to still be present in your household, right? Because we don't want this to cause you to be an unhealthy artist because now you're going through a divorce. You're like, I was just trying to do my passion. So writing out that purpose of what that looks like, how to balance time to still be available for family and still be available for your passion. Even you, supporting the families, supporting the artists of also having your family and also going to school and also still working. It's a lot of hat stuff we can wear sometimes, right? So really honing in on what that looks like to keep ourselves together of taking care of the things, but also taking care of ourselves because we're one of the things in that,
Yes.
right? You as an artist is a person, place, or thing that you need to be stored in well to make sure that you can continue doing what it is that you aspire to do. Oh, this is good. Let me see. It was something else that I just want to bring back again. It was so good.
Amen.
The creativity being tied to our identity.
Yeah. Like it looks cool to everybody else, but it's like, no, like this is really who I am. I'm really
Yeah,
just dope like
yeah,
that. Like these
yeah,
ideas really come
yeah,
out of me.
yeah,
Amen. Yeah.
yes. And you know those people because you'll see them and they're always just doing something like, they're a beat person or they sing this song. Like I got
Yes.
some friends, they teach me all the time because I'm like, I don't know what it is that I do, but apparently it's like a 9 and a 9 hour, whatever they did. And they're like, what song is it? I don't know. So the joke was like, if you got to take somebody and they're going to sing within the first, hour, who you taking? It was like, you definitely, I'm sure going to get a 9 and a 9 now. And I don't even know where the 9 and the 9 9 came from. It used to be like
Yes.
rolling with the homies or other different things that have gone to my mind, but the 9 and the 9. So again, if it's in you, it's going to come out. So again, be encouraged, friends. Don't give up. Keep your passion, keep your purpose,
Yeah.
because you tied to it, and it can shift as you share. Right?
Yes.
It can shift, and be okay when it does shift, when it does change.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and my last part that I loved again was that support system of the personal and professional, how we added that spiritual one of knowing who your support system is. This was really, really good. I just want to say thank you for how you're supporting independent artists because it can be hard. Everybody that has become a big name started out as an independent, maybe singing in church, singing on a corner. You go to different states and things, and they got where the people is on the drums and somebody is singing and blowing. They're like just continuing to show up and continue to show up. And as they show up, somebody seems like, hey, I need you to be a background, But again, continue to post, that helps as well. I know a girl, she was just posting, then, got to be able to sing back up for somebody, and then that opened up other doors into the music she has. She's now walking into her independent artistry, putting out her original music. And TikTok is great for that, of creating the sounds and things, right? But make sure it goes back to the original person because a lot of times it gets shared so many different times. Like, well, who did it the first time? That's who I want to support. And I try to find like the original person because if they're giving that quality and it got to me from 10 people, I want to go back to them, give them that love and support what it is that they're doing further. So friends, the independent artists that you do know, show them some love, give them some encouragement, share it with somebody else. You say, that's my friend, that's my family, that's my cousin, and that's how they continue to get seen, and that encourages them to keep on going too. All good things. All good things. Thank you again so very much. Oh, I'm going to check out your music too, though, because I'm going to put my little 9 and a 9 out to one of your songs, I'm sure.
Yeah, that electronic press kit I sent you, it has
Yeah,
all of my work in there. You can
I
click
did.
through it.
I pulled it up while we talking. I'm like, listen to it.
Oh, okay. Yes,
Because I want to
ma'am.
support, and that helps also too, like as you give reviews and things of that sort. I recently learned that when people do a song, if you just listening to it on the album, like you just download it, if something happens and the song is gone, you no longer have it. So you want to buy it. When you buy it, you have it. They can't take it away from you. Like back in the day, we had CDs and cassette tapes, right? They couldn't take it. But in the digital world, they can remove it. I was like, what happened? That was my playlist. I loved it. I
Yeah.
didn't buy it. And when I didn't buy it, I didn't support that artist. And I felt like, dang, that was bad. It was a, miss. So like those things that ring out to me, I want to support them. You have to purchase it. A lot of times it's like 99 cents, things of that sort. Whatever it is, we spend money what we want to spend money on, right? But this part also helps them continue doing what it is that they do. So I was sad when I learned that, but it was a lesson that I will never forget. And now I make sure I try to purchase some music.
Amen.
Yes. Thank you again so much, Bella. I hope you have a great one. Thank you to our guests for joining us in the comments. I appreciate you ladies for checking in, and gents, whoever was there. This is good. I thank you again so much, and I hope you have a great evening.
Okay. I just did want to say that my name is pronounced Bella, not Bella, right?
Bella.
Double L like quesadilla.
And that's all the double L like quesadilla.
Yes,
I got you. Bella.
Yes, Bella Beat Messenger.
Got you. My bad.
No worries.
Their name. Bella. Gotcha. Awesome. Thank you again so very much, Bella. Okay. Yes. Oh, friends, I hope you did enjoy on tonight. We had such a great time talking to Bella as she shared some insights about independent artists and things. I just grateful. Again, friends, make sure you are doing good stewardship over the passions that you have, knowing that it can shift at any time and moving with that shift and adjustment. I promise it's going to be amazing. Don't forget our quote of the day. The beat is where the pain and joy is. And I love this story that was shared of sharing how, that beat is what you get. And once you get that beat, then you add the music on. And it could bring joy. It could bring pain. It could be sunshine, rain. Let me think of joy. Bump it up, and rain. All right, we gotta go. All right, I thank you guys so much. I do just want to share again about Swag Her. They're doing some amazing things. Swag Her invites you to sip, settle, storytell. Join them for an intimate Juneteenth weekend gathering for women ready to share their truth in Alexandria, Virginia, on Saturday, June 20th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. It's going to be amazing. I did put the link in the chat. They are launching this first gathering. And it can't be any more intentional. The theme is free before they told me. And sometimes we feel like we are in bondage. And that part of stewardship is learning that you are free to do what your passion is. Okay, friends? Last but not least, Chosen has some new merch out. We have our I Don't Have the Capacity hat. You want to make sure you pick that up. You go right to our website. And then we also have our Normalized Therapy tee. On the front, it says Normalized Therapy. Period. Okay. And on the back, it says, seeking support is a sign of strength, not weakness. And this is really a passion in my heart because there are a lot of people that are giving up on life, that are tired because life has been life. They want to do their passion, but couldn't find the purpose or couldn't find the direction of where they should go. But being able to seek support from a professional, a therapist, is really important and intentional. And it's not weakness, it's a strength because you want to make sure that you're doing good. It's like when you go to the doctor. I know some of us don't always go to the doctor like we should, but that also is a sign of strength too. If we feel like something is going left, we want to make sure that we get that back on track. So again, we want to normalize therapy over here because it is real. We do need somebody to talk to. Life can be overwhelming and you don't have to do it alone. There are professionals out here ready to support you. Social workers out here ready to support you. And again, seeking support is a sign of strength, not weakness. Be sure to join us on our next episode as we will have on Monday, June 22nd, Coach Janae. Talk about leadership, women in ministry. Now, that is something else. All right. So I'll be sure to tune in because I'm sure Coach Janae got some good tidbits that she's going to share. I do hope that you all enjoyed tonight. I thank you all so much for joining us. Did a little break because we had birthday and just wanted to take a pause because that's self-care, that's stewardship, right? The passion is to present this, but I also had to know my purpose. I need to take a pause. I can't overwhelm myself or I'll be burnt out and things. I started giving up. And I also want to be a healthy artist. I also want to be a healthy person to be able to share resources with you because I also want to practice what I preach. Okay. So until next time, I do love and appreciate each and every one of you. Until next time, good night. I love you.
Thanks for joining Jen Cares this week. Special thanks to our sponsors, Swag Her Magazine and Chosen Counselors, guests, and viewers. Such a good conversation. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you found value in today's show, we'd appreciate your sharing it with a friend and dropping a comment down below. Until next time.